All right, here we go. Hey, you're listening to the Big E Comedy Venture podcast. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Eric Fady. I'm a podcaster and Michigan area stand-up comic. I'll be taking 2022 to travel around America with the goal of really exploring the country while also trying to perform comedy in at least once in all 50 states. This podcast is a weekly show where I'll be sharing my experiences from being on the road throughout this crazy adventure. But because I can be sometimes someone who tends to ramble a bit and could use help reining in my storytelling once in a while, I've asked my good friend Amy to be my virtual co-host / sidekick for this wild ride. How's it going, Amy?
Howdy, partner. How are you?
Is your internet working this week? Just kidding.
I think it is. Yes, I discovered the issue, and I think we're good.
Cool.
Sorry about that.
It's all right. I'm just kidding. So last week when we did this, which by the way, it is starting to like again blend. Like I was like, when we were getting ready to do this, when I was getting ready knowing I was going to do this today, I was like, didn't I just do something like this?
Right,
and it was,
right.
I mean, I know it was Tuesday, but still, it seems like, yeah. And some of that reason, to be honest with you, is that I got into a little bit in our show, but we kind of were in what we described as hotel purgatory for 3 days last week.
Yes.
Unfortunately, the old van had a little bit of an issue.
No, what happened?
I'm not going to get too into it yet. It's not a big deal, but what I'll say that what happened is, well, actually, I can get a little into it. What happened is that it is a used van. You know, it was nice. It's been doing really well, but you know, you're going to have maybe some issues. And I started to hear a little squealing at one point. I was like, I'm starting to hear a little squealing, and we got it checked out, and it looked like it was like the guy's like, I don't know, the brake is only the driver's side rear brake is kind of having some issue. And so we decided, instead of just fixing the brake pads, which was gonna be a lot of money, at that point it seemed like there might be an actual issue. So we're like, I'm gonna set up an appointment down the line and we'll take it into a dealership, because it seemed like it was needed to be actually fixed. Like just changing the brake pads was only gonna help for a little bit if you didn't do the actual maintenance. And so I said, well, we'll be in Lafayette, Louisiana for 3 days. I called up and made an appointment. And in the end, for one, they're like, I pull it in and they're like, I know you have an appointment, but we're running kind of behind still. It might be 1 to 3 days before we even see your car. Even though I called a week in advance to make an appointment.
Oh my God.
So that left us without a car for a few days. And now, I will say we got lucky. You didn't get to see it much last week because we were kind of having some internet issues, but we were at least lucky to be in a Residence Inn for those 3 days. And that one was like kind of a 1-bedroom, almost like a studio apartment. It did have like, you know, a full king bed, a couch with a fold out, full kitchen. Their workout place was nice. They had a really good breakfast. But in the end, it was very odd because we're just like in this hotel room for like 2 full days, with nothing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is your car better now?
So here's what ended up happening. They did get to it, believe it or not. They did end up getting to it. Thank God, I guess. But they in the end, they didn't have the parts to fix it. They're like, well, that would take another 1 to 3 days. And in general, I saw what they were going to charge me for this. And it was a lot of money that they were asking, but I kind of didn't know what I was going to do. I'm like, well, what am I going to do? I need to get this fixed. And it was funny. My dad, who does work on cars, is kind of like, well, he kept going on about it. I'm like, yeah, but Dad, what am I going to do? Drive all the way back up to Michigan? By the time I do that, it will save the money. It will take away from the money I'd save from you doing it. Right. And so this is how it's going to go down. We're going to be in, for anyone that follows me on Facebook last year, I went on this trip to California last year with this Detroit cast listener that was very gracious enough to like basically pay for most of my trip because he needed a hiking buddy. And we're going to visit him. And he just seems like one of these guys that like knows people, right? He seems like he just like seems like that guy. So I reached out to him because we're going to stay with him for a night next week. And I'm like, hey, dude, any chance you know a car guy? This is kind of what's going on. And it turns out he's like, oh, yeah, dude, I know somebody, blah, blah, blah. He's really good. So in the end, it's going to be great. Like he's going to.
Did you
all
like
I'm gonna,
write down exactly what you needed? So you
yeah,
would
no,
know?
it wasn't a very complicated fix. It's basically,
Oh, okay.
no, I don't know cars at all,
Yeah.
but for anyone that does, it's basically like a caliper on my driver's side
Okay.
rear tire. It's like all the other brakes are fine. It's just one of them is having like some issue where it's not doing it correct. And if you fix that, it should just be fine. It's not like a bigger issue than that. It seems like.
Okay. So now I'm trying to figure out this timing in my head because I feel like you just said you were going to be in Panama City Beach.
Well, we're going to do, So we're going to do Panama City for 3 days tomorrow. This is Florida. On Monday right now, which is in Florida, correct. Okay. But Panama City is like, it's like in the panhandle. You know what I mean? It's like, so Panama City we're going to be in Panama City the next this is Monday night. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night, we're going to be in Panama City. And then we were going to drive north because I couldn't, because of timing, I wasn't going down to Florida after this. So we were going to go up north and then we're going to do Alabama and Atlanta and Georgia, then Florida. So we're going to be going up north on Friday after 3 days in Panama City to my buddy's place. And then his friend is going to work on the car and just charge me parts. Yeah.
He's in Florida.
No, he's in Alabama.
Oh, okay. I thought he was in California. So I was like,
oh, I'm sorry. I couldn't.
What are you getting from Florida, from Panama City Beach?
See, there's, no. Okay. So you see, there's where good thing that someone's here to maybe confirm what I was saying. For people, what I should say to that story is I have a friend in Alabama who took me on a hiking trip into California. So I apologize. That's my fault.
I got you.
So see, there you go. Mm-hmm. So anyway, that's the car issue. It looks like it's going to be fixed.
You know,
this dude's
I never thought. Like when I was thinking about all the different things that were going to happen to you on this trip, I genuinely never thought about car issues. I don't know why, but like I just never thought. I mean, it makes total sense, but I just never thought about it.
I mean, I did, but I mean, here's the thing about it. Again, I'm learning on a trip like this. You can plan as much as you want, right? You can kind of think like, okay, let me try to plan for what the worst is or this or that. But in such a long trip where you're not coming home, you can't really plan for anything. I mean, you can kind of be prepared, like, okay, we have water in the car, or make sure that we have like, you know what I mean? Like a first aid kit or something like that. But as far as like actual things that are going to come up, there's just not much you can do about it.
So Taichung Gross came to Louisiana.
Yeah. So anyway, so this lends to our
planned.
Yes, it was.
Okay.
It was planned. So I would say we do our 3 nights in the hotel, which was kind of crazy. We really got stir crazy at the end of that because you're sitting, and it was a nice hotel. Like I said, it was nice. They even had like a basketball court where I could I gave me a basketball and I shot hoops a little bit one day. Anyway, we do that. We come down here to the Big Easy, New Orleans, and I have to say, for one, I'll get into Ty in a second. I'm someone who's always said that Las Vegas and Manhattan are my favorite places in America to go to. And I've been around a decent amount of places. And I like nature, but I like cities. Mm-hmm. And holy shit, if someone hasn't been to New Orleans,
I haven't been.
It is fucking incredible.
What's it like with COVID right now?
It's a little weird. They are making you show negative tests or cards to go in a lot of places. I know, and the actual absurd thing to me is not the cards. Okay, whatever. You have a card, that's one thing. But the test, it's like, you take a test on Friday morning, and now you're good until Monday morning. Mm-hmm. But it's like, what if you got sick 10 minutes after you got the test? I mean, you could get a test.
Or what if you're vaccinated and sick?
Oh, if I've got my card, I can walk around and do whatever. I can be sick all I want.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, right? It's
doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
No, so the thing about New Orleans, though, yes, there's Bourbon Street, which I'll get into, but like I'm a history guy. There is so much history here and so much to do. We went on 2 walking tours for one going through the history of voodoo, which is a big thing here in New Orleans, actually. Yep. Which I'm not going to get too into this because I don't want to be like,
I might have you pick me up what are those dolls called that you poke?
Yeah, you know what? They got into that and how those are Hollywood bullshit, by the way. What is it called? Just a voodoo doll, I think they call it.
Yeah.
No, you know what? Doll. You know what they said about those and where that comes from is like back in the time of New Orleans, this kind of voodoo practice was very big. But people had to do it on the DL, and they didn't tell people, and the Christians didn't understand it, so they just assumed it's all evil. And so really what those voodoo dolls as Hollywood does it, is like they'd go to, instead of a doctor, because back at this time she was saying like yellow fever was big and all these things were still big. But at the time, doctors were still mostly just like bleeding people, you know what I mean? Or leeches and crap. So people would go to holistic people, or not holistic, but more like those type of people that had different natural remedies. Mm-hmm. And because languages and stuff were weird, and they didn't write everything down necessarily, they would take these dolls and they would put pins at like, with like a little bit of a leaf or whatever they used to kind of help the person, and put the pin like, okay, he was complaining of pain, in his chest or something like. So they had nothing.
That's interesting.
It was the voodoo history tour was very interesting, because it was such a thing that, again, if you only watch TV and movies, you just have this idea of voodoo stuff, and it was really interesting. And they were these like free walking tours that you can do as long as you sign up for them or whatever.
Nice.
And sorry, were you gonna say something?
Cool. No.
Yeah. So the point is, like, we got here Friday night, and now it's like Monday, and we're leaving tomorrow, and I have not seen a city in a long time. Like, I need to come back here. There is so much to do that we only touched the surface of it, honestly.
So TCG flew into New Orleans.
Yeah, Friday he flew in.
Is he going to Panama with you guys?
No, he's going back to regular life, real life.
He's got a job,
which I don't blame him for. I can get it. We even talked about the fact that we're 5 weeks into this thing, and it's crazy.
But anyway, so first month.
I know, first month in the books. And so he came in Friday, and we wanted to do like a casual thing. So we went to a riverboat casino.
Nice.
And here's the thing: like, my two buddies here, they don't gamble that often. They have a little more of a budget than me. They also understand that gambling can be very stupid at times. But we all thought it'd be something fun to do. It was on a legit riverboat. That was kind of cool and shit. And I lose my $60. Boom, 3 fucking roulette hands, done. Ty, who gambles all the time, $80. Boom, gone. My one friend on the same roulette table I am hits the first thing, then makes the second but thing, hits. He's like, I'm done. I've made my $40. My other friend sits down on a slot machine and ends up hitting these 2 specials and gets like 120 free spins. So it's like these motherfuckers win money when the experts here lost it. I mean, let me see this. I just want to read this because it's all White Oprah here. White Oprah makes it worthwhile. Well, yeah, of course, obviously. Makes it watching versus listening. Of course, that's the reason you're here. No offense, Amy. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Yes, that is not lost on me.
Right. So we did the riverboat casino, and it is really cool seeing Ty. And I will say, what was a cool thing is that we all meshed really well. Like, it's been a good group. So that's good. And then
Ty Chung Gross know these people?
He had never met them before. No. Okay. He knew. I was trying to remember in my mind. Ty used to come to Grand Rapids and visit me to do comedy here and there, but they never crossed paths. In the end, we decided.
Okay, so you go to the riverboat.
Yeah, so we go to riverboat. We do that. The next day, we do the voodoo tour, like I described, which was really cool. And we do the voodoo tour, which was really cool. And then we do some comedy that didn't go so well. It wasn't. It's just. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to ask why it didn't go so well.
I mean, the reality is we're just doing open mics, and I know it kind of stinks. And we still all had fun. We had fun doing it. And I'll say this also, though, Amy, like, I was like dying before we went. It was like 6:30 and I was ready to fall asleep. And I was like having conversations with Ty. We're like, this is just hard, man. Doing all this stuff and trying to wake up and do tours, but also do comedy, and you're never at home. I understand now more and more why this is hard for people.
So like, how many people are in the room when you're doing stand-up, in the stand-up that you did?
We've had me and for example, me and Tyler did one in Austin where there was literally nobody that wasn't a comic.
Right. And what about this recent one?
This recent one, I think there was a few. I think there was like 4. Actually, wait a minute. 2 of those people got up. I think there was maybe 2 or 3 people that weren't comics.
So like, what in your head, like, why do you say that it didn't go well versus the other ones that you've had?
Even if there's nobody in a room. No, even if there's no one in a room. Actually, I'll say this. My set, they'll probably yell at me because they can hear me talking because they actually thought I did good near the end. Because what happened was my set, I started off with jokes I've been working on, and it got literally no reaction. So then I just went into off the cuff shit. I just went into off the cuff shit, talking about my I was wearing a Michigan shirt. I mean, it won't even sound funny in this context, but I ended up going off the cuff about my Michigan hoodie and the fact that I was wearing camo pants. And then at one point I did an audience survey on whether I should cut my hair or not because I haven't cut it in a month. But it was like, Amy, I had nothing else. And it actually did work. Like I literally took the mic and like walked into the crowd and started counting. Okay, who do you think? Come on, let's start. I got nothing else here. Let's go. Like, so I actually, my end of my set went okay. And like I said, they would tell you if they heard me sitting here saying how I did bad. Technically my second half of my set went okay. I just didn't do the stuff I wanted to do. And the jokes I had written basically died on the vine instantly. But it's okay. We're going out again tonight. For
your stand up?
Yeah, we're doing another open mic tonight. So we'll see how that one goes. Cool. I was almost dying before that open mic. Like it was like 6:30 and I was ready to sleep. I don't sleep. The problem is my sleeping patterns in my regular life have never been that right. Like I'm someone who wakes up at 6 a.m. no matter what, even though we went to bed at 2 a.m. the night before. Right. And so that's what kills me. But we did the comedy and I did okay. And all of a sudden I got this second wind. And now we'll get into the real shit. Let's get into the debauchery. The real shit, the real debauchery. And that was hitting freaking Amy, I've partied at Michigan State. I went to NASCAR races, which I used to describe as almost borderline Mardi Gras. I've been to Vegas many times. The Bourbon Street on a Saturday night, holy shit, dude! Like
not even just during Mardi Gras.
You know what? That's another thing that's wrong. We're not. This is something we found out too. We are in carnival season, so we're like in the middle of it. So there is like stuff up now. It literally starts, they said in the end, it started January 2nd and it runs this year to March 2nd. So we're kind of in the middle of it, actually. Like it is picking up. Decorations are out and stuff like that. Like they're starting to
put. You've got some beads on.
Yeah, I've got the beads, which were well earned.
What did you have to do to get those?
Now I'll admit I didn't earn these beads. TCG earned these beads. I put them on for the camera, but.
And what did TCG have to do?
I mean, he won them the old-fashioned way. You know what I mean?
He did. Yeah.
Showed some skin.
And that's all he got.
That's he got, some beads. One time he got a double middle finger by some because he told this one girl, he's like, you can get beads if you flash people. She's like, I live here. Boom, double finger. For one, by the way, I don't believe her because I don't believe anybody that lives in this town is going down Bourbon Street on Saturday night. I don't believe it. That is all people like us. Like locals aren't on Bourbon Street on a Saturday night.
No doubt.
But so anyway, so my point of all this is like we were kind of in Mardi Gras season. Like it's not the one you see, in the famous videos, but they did say like it's ramping up. Like I said, there were decorations out. There were people on the freaking, the famous balconies. Like you see those, the balconies and drinking and hooting and hollering. So anyway, the point I'll say about it, and it was amazing. Me and Ty both were like, "Oh my god, this is maybe better than Vegas. This might be better than Vegas. This might be better."
Just like people walking around drinking,
just drunk as fuck. Like, I mean, seriously, I've never, honest to God, I've been to places that I feel like that's been the case. People are just walking. I was shocked I didn't see throwing up in the streets at night. Now maybe it was only 2 a.m. that we left, so maybe that was too early because some bars stay open 24 there. So maybe. The throw up hadn't happened yet.
So did you guys get wasted?
Oh yes, it was quite an evening. Like, and the thing about this it was so fun though. It really was. It was honestly a perfect evening because we didn't have any drama. But like you walk in these bars and it's like we went from like one bar was like a full on like trap rap fucking venue where some of us one of us may or may not have gone on the stage and started dancing around, but but like we went from like literally like a rap fucking one to like country music to like EDM to like jazz, and then we ended up at a place where this band was playing full on like early 2000s pop punk, like Blink-182, Green Day, and they were like,
love that.
We all had sore voices the next day because we were literally yelling and singing, And again, one of us being older, Ty, not me though, might have had a hurt knee after jumping around a little bit too much, after doing a little too much jumping around during all the small things. But
your debauchery sure has changed over the years.
I know. It's not quite the same.
Did anything crazy happen?
No, nothing to us crazy. But again, walking down that street though, I'm telling you, like it. What's up?
No chicks?
No chicks. I mean, I did see a few breastises, if you will, on the street.
Would hope so. Did you give out any beads?
I didn't have any, so I didn't have any to give out. I should have bought some.
That seems like you were very ill prepared.
You know what? I was. I agree. That was a little bit of a rookie move on my part.
Hey, you went to fucking Bourbon Street and you didn't bring one single set of beads. That is the easiest way to see boobs.
I know, but you know what? I didn't really need them because I got to really just enjoy the other ones that people were throwing. Like I still saw them.
Yeah.
So like in the end, I got secondary.
Seeing you could have
right. Well, I got secondary boobs, I guess. from but it's just like to get on it, like not to hammer it too much, but it was so fun. But just I just don't know how to explain
expensive?
It. Yes, beers are $8. You can. By the way, if you get off of Bourbon Street, it's not bad. If you're just right on Bourbon Street, though, they have you where they want you.
How far are you staying from Bourbon Street?
Our Airbnb is decent. It's actually out of town. We're like 20-minute ride into town, so we did a lift or whatever.
Gotcha.
But like I said, I'm kind of not. I don't even know if I can explain it, but it just was like I've been in a situation, like I said, where I've seen grown adults drunk. I get it. I've been to concerts where but this is just like this mile stretch, and it is just you can just tell like people are just walking around and they're just fucked up, like they are just gone. You know what I mean? And it's just like it's crazy.
You have not had to institute the no females are allowed to know.
No, I haven't. And not only I haven't, I've already conceived where if someone had brought a girl back, I'd have just been like, whatever. Like, I mean, it is what it is. So again, some of us in the group may or may not be doing Tinder. So I mean, if something were to
very good.
I almost had a meetup, but it didn't work out. I was talking to one person, and it actually she was supposed to message me about meeting up today, and she never got back to me. So I don't know what happened there, but
bullshit.
But anyway, no, but New Orleans, like the thing is not just the debauchery of like fucking Bourbon Street. There's honestly, it's just so much history here, and there's so much. Like we went on another tour this morning of just the French Quarter, and it's just like. There's just so much there. Like, I want to come back so bad. And I want to come back and spend like a week here. Like, honestly. And not even because of the drinking. I swear to, I mean, of course I would do it again. But like, that's not even the main thing. Like, it's just like, the French Quarter is so cool. And it's so like, and there's stuff you can, we didn't even do like, we were going to go on we were going to do a swamp ride. And we didn't get to that because time just, got over. But like my buddy Tyler today was kind of cool. He busked today. Like he pulled out the guitar, like bust. Like he pulled out the guitar and just like played like kind of did like street performance and stuff. And I mean he made $6, but but you gotta know like
so cool,
the fact that anyone gave him some money is pretty dope. Like and the reality is we're like I said, we actually are in carnival season, and the amount of by the way, Ty got in a street performance. I forgot about this Saturday. No. Have you ever seen those ones, Amy, where it's like a big group and they're like, oh, we're going to jump over people? I don't know if you've ever seen that or not. Yeah. It was one of them. And they were doing things also. They were having people dance, and they literally pulled Ty down, and he was the only dude. He's like, and they're like, oh.
And he looked like tiny and nimble, like they could stuff him into a cannon and shoot him over somebody.
Well, what they did with him was, I think it was just because he was Asian, to be honest with you. And because they took him down and
meet their quota.
Well, yeah, and they took him down and they did like a dance, like a kind of not a dance, but like a routine. But it was basically out of like Mortal Kombat. Like they tried to do like fake fighting scenes down. So
it's like cultural appropriation.
I mean, I suppose you could call it that.
Oh my God.
Ty was okay with it, but I mean, I suppose it could be considered that.
That is so funny. Do you remember doing a story? This is totally off topic, but do you remember doing a story back in the TDC days where someone got braids and it was considered cultural appropriation?
Yes, absolutely.
So, I'm going to Mexico and I just want to get braids when I get there so I don't have to worry about my hair. But I'm like, because of that, I'm thinking in the back of my head, like, is that cultural appropriation? Can I get away with braids?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I would just do it. If you want to do it, I would just do it. If you don't, then don't.
I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, everything is culture. I suppose everything is cultural appropriation these days. But and I'm trying to think of what else from these days. The thing is, there's not as much to talk about because, like I said, 3 of the days I was, we were in a hotel room, and then
you're off to Florida. Alabama.
So we're off to Panama City. Yep. 3 days there. That'll be a
different part of Florida at all, or this?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No. Because we're eventually going down to the Key West.
Nice.
But no. This is only because I have a friend, the Kennedys, hook up that he has these timeshares that he's like helping me stay some places for free a few nights. So this is mainly because of that. So like we would not have done nothing against Panama City, but I don't think I would have necessarily gone to Panama City if it weren't for this. And we got comedy lined up there too.
Will you ever be in like the Fort Myers or Naples or?
Oh yeah, I mean we'll drive through there at one point, I guess. Yeah,
but you're not stopping there or anything.
Oh, if you're asking me if I want to go see your mom, if that's where this is going.
No, I was just if you were gonna be there, I would have tried to like time a trip down.
Oh, well, you should go to the Key West. That's way better than Fort Myers. No offense to Fort Myers, but
no
I'm familiar with there. I've been to Fort Myers because my grandma used to live in the winter, so I know Fort Myers. But Key West is better, I would imagine. But
probably.
So yeah, that's what we got next. I guess that's it. I'm just gonna mainly end it with again, like New Orleans is just for anybody that listens or watches this, and you haven't been to New Orleans, or you think it's, by the way, if you think it's just Bourbon Street and just Mardi Gras. If you like history, like actual cultural history, it is very deep in cultural history. It is so cool. I definitely want to come back. So for whatever that's worth to anybody watching.
Well, good deal, E. Well, I will. I'll be here next week. The week after, though, I'll be in Mexico.
Okay, and then 1 second. I'll deal with that in 1 second. I'm going to throw this out there to people again. I know I have thrown it, and we got another. We did get someone that gave me some money for drinks in New Orleans this last week. So thanks to that person. I don't know. I don't like say names necessarily sometimes because I'm not sure how people feel about that. But someone threw us $50 for drinks this week, which was nice. And the way to do that, if you want to do it, is you can go to my Venmo account, Eric ERIC Fady F as in Frank ADIE Venmo or TWO Hippies. I'm never going to ask people to demand money for any of the content we're putting out there. But having said that, we do put out 3 shows a week, plus a lot of Facebook content, and we're out here and, we're trying our best. I made my own food every day this week, but, you still could use a little extra money here and there. Oh, yeah. What was I going to say? Shit. There was one more thing I was going to say and I forgot. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Probably wasn't important. Anyway, there we go. That was the Venmo thing. And then there you go. Are you going to be on Chris Newberg's show this week?
I think so. Yeah, we were supposed to have someone from the Animaniacs tomorrow.
Are you serious?
Yeah, someone.
Damn it, like a voice character?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I got to text Chris and see if he was able to move it back because I've got meetings tomorrow. But yeah, we were supposed to do that.
This person says there's no Venmo from Canada. Message me on Facebook, Eric Fady, or text me 248-935-9241. If you want to give me money, we'll find a way. I promise you.
Yeah, someone's getting all those truckers' money, so there's got to be something going on.
Yeah, that's a good point. Those truckers are getting money from Americans, so there must be a way.
There must be something going on.
I think I stepped over your Twitter handle, though, if you want to say it again.
Oh, yes. It's Awake, Not Woke 17 on all platforms. I'm currently private on everything, so you're going to have to request to follow me because people are fucking crazy.
Yes, that's true. That is true. People be crazy, as they say.
But if you request, I will very likely accept.
All right. There you go. Thank you, Amy. I guess I'll do it for this week.
I'll see you next week.